Welcome to LOQation, Cabrini College's weekly news program. I'm Parisa Ghaffari.
And I'm Ricardo Shepard, and here's your news now.
Cabrini College Halloween Freak Week is next week. On October 27th, ghost hunter Chris Moon will appear on campus to talk about paranormal activities. From 7 to 10 on Halloween night, hear the story behind Cabrini's very own haunted mansion. The event costs $1 and all proceeds go to Relay for Life. Both events are hosted by Capboard. Several young men from the mainline area have admitted to being involved in creating a drug trafficking operation to supply drugs to local high school and college students in the area. 18-year-old Timothy Brooks, the drug ringleader, has pled guilty to the accusations of supplying students with cocaine, weed, ecstasy, and various weapons, including a loaded assault rifle. A court date is yet to be determined. About a month ago, we reported a story on missing 18-year-old University of Virginia sophomore Hannah Graham. Human skeletal remains were found nearby in a shallow creek where Graham was last seen, and authorities are almost certain that it is Graham's body which was found because some articles of clothing. 32-year-old Jessie Matthew was linked to the disappearance of Graham and has officially been arrested and charged with her abduction. Since Cabrini became one of the few fair trade certified colleges last year, new items and activities are becoming part of the culture at the college. LOQation got a chance to catch up with the faculty and students involved with fair trade.
Fair trade is, the way I would describe fair trade is that it is a movement. It's a movement to bring or to help those that are marginalized, particularly in the developing nations, to get a leg up, to be able to better participate in the marketplace.
I think fair trade means to me providing working conditions that are proper to those who deserve them and those who are being treated poorly right now.
Mary Laver, who was the former director of the Wolfington Center, she started the process through Fair Trade USA probably about 7 years ago, actually. And the thought was that it's a match, it's to our mission, our social justice mission. It's a perfect match, in fact, that recognizes, part of the college and university community that recognizes the importance of fair trade on our campus and building awareness around fair trade on our campus.
One thing we're really happy about this year is trying to get the admissions office a little bit more involved. When ambassadors give tours of campus, we want them to know and tell families of people that are coming in to tour that we are a fair trade college and that we were the 19th college in the whole country to gain status, and that we're very proud of that as a college.
So certainly coffee. Coffee is probably, even when we think about the world, coffee is the most, the product that is most well known for being fair trade. So Sodexo offers a multitude of products.
One of our future events that we're hoping to plan for this semester would be a health and fitness night. We want to focus on the health and the fitness of our students here at college and show them how our fair trade items can help them do that. We have the chocolate bars, and then we also have the fair trade bananas, and we want to incorporate maybe a fitness night, so we say a Zumba class, and put that all together and have a great, fantastic event.
Follett, our bookstore, also offers fair trade chocolate. They have Alta Gracia clothing, a few t-shirts and sweatshirts that are not technically fair trade certified, but they're sweatshop free.
Within the next year, one thing we'd really like to do with the club is kind of just make it larger. We want to get more people involved because I know last year I went to a few of the meetings and there wasn't a lot of student involvement, so that's one thing we want to change this year, get more people aware of what it is that we actually are and what we do. So one event we just had was the volleyball tournament, which is hosted by all the different business classes, and we tie fair trade into it that way. And it was all the different classes, like create a team with like 3 to 5 students, and the championship was just this past Monday, actually.
Fair trade means to me that people are getting paid fairly for their effort and what they're putting into their work.
And that was your trip around the block. Let's check in with Jason Williams to see what's new with sports. So Jay, what's to say here about Peyton Manning?
Well, Peyton Manning broke a record this weekend.
Wow.
I'll tell you more about it in sports. Peyton Manning and the Broncos took on the 49ers on Sunday Night Football. Manning delighted the home fans by breaking the all-time NFL touchdown record held by Brett Favre. Manning needed 3 more touchdown passes to pass the 508 mark and ended up throwing 4 touchdowns. Congrats to the legend for breaking the record. The Cleveland Cavaliers took on the Chicago Bulls for a preseason matchup. Kyrie Irving had 28 points on the night, but it was Derrick Rose who stole the show. Rose had 30 points in the Bulls' loss. Hopefully, the former MVP can continue his success while staying healthy. The Cabrini women's volleyball team extended its winning streak to 13 matches, with a win over Centenary College. The Cavs are now 19-5 on the year and are undefeated in the CSAC, with an 8-0 record. They look to continue their success as they travel to Cairn University. And that was this week's sports news. Let's send it over to Ricardo at the news desk.
For the first time in the history of medical science, a revolutionary technique offers hope for curing human paralysis. The way the procedure works is by transferring cells from nasal cells to damaged areas of the spinal cord and stimulating the growth of a passageway for the brain to send signals to move the body. British scientists and Polish surgeons succeeded in their first attempt to reverse complete spinal paralysis of a patient. Although the technique has only been tried on one person, it offers hope for future treatment to patients who suffer from paralysis. CNN recently reported a college has denied a Nigerian applicant admission due to confirmed cases of Ebola in Africa. CNN says that the outbreak of the Ebola in the United States is not as serious as it may seem. While many cases of the virus may have been confirmed in African countries, the chances of a serious outbreak in America is not as likely. Despite reassurances from Washington, many Americans are afraid that Ebola will spread. American citizen Jeffrey Fowl has been released from North Korea after being arrested in May for leaving a Bible at a club for foreign sailors. According to North Korea, Fowl has violated the law by acting contrary to purpose of tourism. An American government plane picked up Fowl on Tuesday. Fowl has apologized for his actions, and he says that he is glad to be reunited with his family. The Cabrini room is located in the second floor of the library and holds some of Mother Cabrini's personal belongings. LOQation was given the opportunity to explore this hidden treasure.
I think the Cabrini Honor Room is probably the best kept secret on campus. It is a room where we have all the artifacts of Francis Cabrini, the saint, the patroness of immigrants, the namesake of Cabrini College. We have a lot of her writings that have been translated into English, as well as some of her actual artifacts and items of clothing here. A lot of the documentation here and the collection of artifacts that we're fortunate to have here were brought to us by Sister Ursula Infante, who was the founding president of Cabrini College, as well as Sister Mary Louise Sullivan, who was another president of Cabrini College. They would go to different Cabrini institutions and ask if they could lend their artifacts to us, and they would come here, and it seems like many of them stayed here permanently. What we're fortunate to have here are some of Francis Cabrini's dining utensils. Francis Cabrini traveled a great deal, and to make life easier for her, she would be on shipboard for extended periods of time, or she would travel by steam train. And in order to be able to eat with ease, she has a little tin collection. It's a cup that screws together, and her eating utensils fit inside that. So you can unscrew that, open it up, her eating utensils are all there, and then the bottom becomes a little candle holder and a drinking cup. We also have a check, because Mother Cabrini is quite savvy. She was an excellent businesswoman, and we have one of the checks that she wrote because she actually did banking and had a checking account. We have several of her garments that indicate that it was she whose these things belong to. We also have a lot of her naturalization papers, a copy of that, her teaching certificate, and some information about her travels back and forth. And many, many documents which have been her writing. She was a prolific writer that have been translated from the Italian in which she wrote into English. I think we don't do as a community enough of a job to tell our students about this. Perhaps we could incorporate this into our orientation. Possibly there has been talk that we might be able to create a larger welcome center on campus sometime in the future, and these items could be brought out into a more central location that visitors, prospective students could see, which would enhance the whole history and tradition of the college. I would like students to be aware that when they are a student at Cabrini College, they're part of a worldwide enterprise. The sisters are on 6 continents and 15 countries throughout the world. And even though we're the only college that the sisters sponsor, we're part of this wonderful worldwide network that I think affirms every student's choice of choosing Cabrini College for your higher education experience.
And those are this week's big issues. So Morgan, what's up with entertainment this week?
Well, Kerry Washington was in the Allure's November cover this week, so let me explain more about it.
Cool.
It seems that makeup is a necessity in today's world. Everyone needs it. Well, Kerry Washington breaks the norm on the Allure's November cover. She goes makeup-free, discussing her inspirations behind the scenes of the magazine shoot. This 37-year-old looks flawless in a Zag posing gown, all black with a long and full train. She speaks about her inspiration of beauty, her mother. She says that her mother taught her that inner beauty is more important than outer beauty. Miss Washington has been the it girl lately, so don't sleep on her, because I'm sure we'll be seeing much more of her in the near future. Saturday Night Live has added a full new cast member. Leslie Jones was previously a writer for the show, but has been promoted to the front of the camera. She is excited, posting on Twitter her reaction, saying, "It's official, I'm a cast member. Get ready, get ready." Miss Jones has already made a few new appearances on the show previously, and was one of the 12 finalists trying out for the role last year. Congrats, Miss Jones. We'll be tuning in every Saturday evening to catch you on the show. Okay. I think Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are so cute together. With Blake Lively expecting, it makes it so much better. On the red carpet at Gabrielle's Angel Ball in New York, Miss Lively showed off her baby bump wearing a pale yellow silk Gucci gown with silver crystal embroidery. Lively says that she always wanted to have a big family, and now she's getting started with style. Ryan Reynolds is such a great supporter as a soon-to-be father. According to E! News, at the ball, he was rubbing her shoulders, kissing her cheek, and rubbing her belly bump. How adorable. Congrats, you two. That was all for your entertainment update. Covenant House is a great place to help kids from homelessness to hope. LOQation met with President of the Covenant House, Kevin Ryan, to learn more about it.
Covenant House is one of the largest charities in the Americas. We work with 50,000 homeless and trafficked and exploited teenagers every year across 6 countries, from Canada to the United States, Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua.
It's a movement to get kids off the street and into safety. I worked for Covenant House as a volunteer when I left college, and I'm so glad to be back, 20 or so years later, working with kids who are braver than I could ever be.
We're working with kids who don't have a circle of love around them, kids who don't have a safe place to sleep. They come inside, they get sheltered, they get a meal, they go to school, they begin to dream again and aspire. And we're helping kids cross that bridge from homelessness to hope.
Homelessness has been an issue that Cabrini staff and students have been working with and trying to address in many ways for years. We said it would be a great opportunity to bring someone that's in the nonprofit sector that represents a real national issue, who's a national leader, to both talk about his particular area of interest, but also what it's like to be a leader in the nonprofit sector.
The first thing we want for kids is for them to be safe. And we want them not to be on the streets and not to be vulnerable to the guns and the gangs and the bullets and the bullies and the perps and the predators who are out there who prey on vulnerable kids.
They're so at risk out there, and each year 5,000 kids in the U.S. die on the streets in the age group that we work with. So there's a lot at stake.
So just opening kids' eyes to the possibility of tomorrow often excites them and gets them to chase their dreams.
Now let's look into what's coming up next week on LOQation News. Let's send it over to Ted.
Next time on LOQation News.
We talk about Cabrini College signing children with life-threatening conditions.
Then we bring you coverage on Dr. Don Taylor's inauguration.
Followed by a look into sophomore Todd Walker's Cabrini swim career.
And we look at why breast cancer appears to be the most funded and researched of all the cancers.
All this and more, only on LOQation News.
Thanks for catching up with us this week. For LOQation Weekly News, I'm Parisa Ghaffari.
And I'm Ricardo Shepard. Be sure to stay up to date with us by following us on our social media. Simply search LOQation News. Have a great week, Cabrini.